Hello, this is Christian. In this video, I'll be creating a simple Java application per request. Okay, so this program requires a class called vehicle, and you're going to create three subclasses called truck, bus, and car, and ask you to add some common methods in the base class. So in this example here, the base class would be the vehicle class. Okay, so this is the base class here, and just put a note here. This is the base. And these are called the subclasses or the child classes. And then create another class called road, and you're going to instantiate three objects, right? One for truck, one for bus, one for car, and display appropriate messages. I'm not sure what this means. It could be just anything, but I'm hoping that if you read number 5, it asks you to create a constructor in the vehicle class in the base class here, to include a variable for color, or for the number of wheels, and the model of the car or the vehicle. And you're supposed to initialize those using that constructor. Okay, so if you don't use a constructor, I'm assuming we can set some default values just for the fun of it, and so on. Okay, and so I think this is displaying appropriate messages. Just means when you create a constructor for the car, you create the car, you have some default values, which may not make sense. But okay, so let's go into the program and create that project. So first, I'm going to create a new project in here, a Java project, just a regular Java project. So we'll call it vehicle demo, and then just finish that one here. This is the project. I'm going to go and create a package in here. I will call it vehicle demo project. It doesn't matter what you call it. So one class is called vehicle. We have like a couple of them. This is not the main class, by the way. Right? So this is not the main class. It's the base class. So we're going to inherit this class from the base class. So just click vehicle there, click OK, and this is the base class. I'll put a note here, base class. Now we need to create the other three classes to inherit this parent class. So those classes are truck. Again, this is not the main program. Okay, you can do inherit here right away if you want to, but I'm going to do it in the code. Okay, so this is the super class here. You can pick and choose here, like browse and go to the super class where we find it. But I'll leave the blank and click finish. And then we're going to do another one. This is the bus class. And finally, we have the car class. Okay. And last but not least, we have the main program, which is called the road. So if you go back to the instructions, it says create a road class. That this road class we're going to instantiate three objects. So we're assuming this is the class that created objects, and I'll use that as the main program. Okay, and of course it doesn't have to be, but we'll use that as the main program. So this is the road. Since it's the main program, we are going to create the main method here. Again, I'm not sure if this is how you want it, but you may have another project, the main application that actually creates the road, and inside the road you have three objects, and those objects will be something like what's called a composition. It will be outside here in the class section. But I just say this is the main program here, and then I put here main program. So what you're going to do is you're going to create three objects in here eventually. Okay, so let's go and take care of the other stuff first. Now, these are subclasses, so that means we need to extend the parent class, which is called the vehicle class. So I'm extending the vehicle class. Same thing for the other one. I'm just going to copy and paste. For this one here, the bus, save that, and the car as well. So these are child classes. They would inherit everything in the vehicle class. So whatever the vehicle class have, you can have inside the subclasses as well. Okay, so we know we have three parameters in there called the color, number of wheels, and the model. So we can do that here. These are, you can call this like properties or attributes. And we have the color for the string. So we will set the default value if you want to. Since we didn't know that, we're just going to call it, let's just say, white car. Okay. And we have another one. Also, you want to make this all private because they should not be accessible outside from outside. We have another one. The number of wheels, we can use that as an integer. So num of wheels, we'll just say default is 4. Okay, and then we have one more for the model. That will be a string as well. The model here, and we'll just say I don't know what the model is. We'll just say 4 for now. Okay, so these are your properties, or we call these attributes, and then we're going to close all these here. And just basically go ahead and create the setters and getters. So you can just right click here, shortcut, source, and generate getters and setters. So we can set these when we create our objects. Just check select all, generate, and we got our setters and getters all done here. So these are, will be, I'll put here setters and getters. For accessors and modifiers. This will be all shared by across the truck, the bus, and the car classes. Okay, and then usually by default you have a default constructor, which you don't see here, but there is one. So if you don't have it, it's the default, right? Then, for example, the truck, the car already inherits it; they own it already. So if I go to the road, and it asks you to create 3 objects. So if I go with the truck first. Say truck here, I should call it truck is equal to new truck. New truck. Okay, with no parameter passed to it, and that is the first object. And you can do the same thing with the other one. Bus. Call it bus with a lowercase as well. New bus. And then we have the car. Car equals new car. So I'm using the default constructor to create that. So as soon as I instantiate these objects, these are object instantiation or creation. Okay, and you need to do that. We use the new followed by the class. And then now, if I want to display the trucks and the cars in the formation, well, all they have are these properties here. This is a default value, so all of them have exactly the same in this scenario. So if I want to print out the truck information, so print, I'm going to print, let's just say, truck color. If I add that here, I put like truck.getColor, right? Use the function to get it. And that will give the color for the truck. And if I do the same thing for the other ones, you see they should all be the same color. So that's for the truck. I could do for the car, like that. So I put truck color, truck, number of wheels. I should have probably just done that first and then copy it. So yeah, it's easier. Let's do that. Okay, so this will be the bus, and then all bus, car. Okay, and I'll put a system. I'll put a line here so we know. Just copy this again, put down there so we have separations of these 3 objects. And if you go ahead and run this program here, we'll have to change these. This is the bus. bus. Okay. Let's be the car, and car. Okay, so save it now and run this program. Application is fine. And you see that the result here is kind of small, but it says colors light. Well, I put color. I should get the other one. You want to get the number of wheels. Okay, so I put that get number of wheels, and then here will be get model. Again, just copy this down here. Model, number of wheels. Okay, so now when you run it, and you can see that it has white wheels forward and forward. They're all the same because they're not unique, right? So they share the exactly same properties here. And they ask you to create some, these are common methods, right? If you want to add, like, usually what do they have in common? One thing they have in common is, for example, they have other functions in here. So they could do something like functions. What do they do? You have common things like public, void, start engine, something like that, right? So you can say, put a message out here, SOUT, control space bar for system out, engine started, something like that. These are common to all of them. And you can add another one down here. For example, void, maybe like stop, right? So you can say, or actually stop. And you can add more stuff like, you know, accelerate, brake, honk, right? Those would be common for all those cars, because car, trucks, and buses, they all have that. Okay. And then now you have something that will be very specific to truck. Well, what does the truck have? I don't know. Maybe something like, what do trucks have? It doesn't be like action. Well, these are kind of similar, but let's just say that maybe a truck has. I can't think of something. What do they have? I guess you can say something about public void, maybe like release air brakes. Okay, that's something that trucks usually do, right? So you can, again, SOUT, release. That's something that trucks often do. So that's unique only for a truck, for example. What about buses? Well, I guess buses, maybe something like, maybe, you know, the stop sign. I guess flip a stop sign. That's what they usually do, right? So, again, flipping the stop sign. Okay, that's what they do. And then for car, well, I guess we just make something up. Void extend. We'll just say wings. Okay, it doesn't have wings, of course, but we'll just say it has. Or maybe something like this. You know, raise wheels. You know, like the low riders, they can raise and lower those. Say raising. It's pretty cool, right? Okay, so we add those common unique features to these objects. So back here you can add another command here. Well, you just basically going to output it. So here we'll just say truck dot, and we'll put here releasing brakes. Okay. And then here would be the bus is flipping the stop sign. And then down here, we have the car raising the wheels, right? So its own unique features that other objects do not. So you have your own unique ones. These are all the same, right? And of course, you would speed up and then stops in there as well. And I could say like here, truck dot start engine, right? It's the same for truck. And then here, maybe before I do that, I would just put bus dot start engine, and then it would here bus stop, and then it would flip the sign, right? And same thing here, car again, car start engine, and then this would be like car stop, and then raises its wheels. So when you run it, you see that I put the engine down here first, but anyway, it makes sense. Start engine, you do information here, you stop the car, you flip the sign. The bus. Start engine, show you information here, you stop and you raise the wheels. Okay, so very straightforward in that example. Now the second part of this is to say add a constructor. You can initialize the color, wheels, and model. And that's basically what we just did. Okay, and they give appropriate values for these variables from invoking subclasses. So when you invoke the subclasses, you're going to create your own very specific information. So let's go back here into the vehicle class. What I did here is I already set them. That's one way to do it. If you want to do the using the constructor, you can say public here, vehicle. This is the empty constructor. So basically, you could do this. I'm going to copy them here. Okay. So initially, this would be blank, like that, right? Just empty. And then when you create a vehicle, you initialize it. So down here would be just string equal that, number of wheels equal that, and so on. So this will be fine. Sometimes you see you can use the word this here, because they refer to the object information, so it's actually safer to do this, because just in case that you might accidentally put a local variable in here and then you have a problem. So that part is done. The next one is to have another constructor to take the parameters of all these properties here. So the first one is the color, so we put string color, and then the int number of wheels. I'll use the same variable names, and there's a reason why for that as well. I mean, it's not required, but usually that's the case. And the reason why is because if I use my constructor and my functions down here, my sets and getters, to set them, I can do really quick. So when I got the data here, now I need to override the default values up here, right? So you can do this like just like that, just like here. I could do like this. Color equals and then color, and this is why I asked you earlier to put a word this here, because now if I don't do that, if I do this, you see the color changes back to just this local here. So this one here never exit out of this function or this constructor, so this will never be set. Okay, that's why this color is important. So you can do like that. That's one way for all of them. Or you can use your setters to do it. So for example, the number of wheels, I have a function called number of wheels, right? Set number of wheels. Isn't reload, but number of wheels. I have another one called model, so set model, right? Press Control Spacebar and it will fill that for me. And then you see that it loads the model right into it, right, really quickly. And this is how you initialize it, so that is very unique. This is the default. This is very specific. Okay, if I save this, now my program will not change because I'm calling when I create my objects. As you can see, they're all default values. Right, for run it will still be the same, nothing changes, everything's still white for wheels and so on. So after this, then you can say, hey, you know what, actually truck has, truck has 18 wheels, for example, you can do truck.setWheels and color. So you can do like that, 18 wheels for the truck. Okay, if I just change for the truck, for example, if I do that, I run, you see that the truck has 18 wheels. That's a modified that already. The rest will still be just the default. Okay, I didn't have the wheel for the car down here. Let me just do one more. Actually, I called the wrong one. It should be the number of wheel. Okay, so instead of doing this way, right, you can call the truck right away and you assign those values right away when you instantiate this object. So, for example, the constructor says, I have color, number of wheels, and model. So I can just go here and to the program here when I create my objects. The first is colors. I can say red. Model will be 18 wheels, and the model is, let's just say, will be a model for a truck. I'll call it Tesla. Okay, so that's a Tesla truck, and I'm not having it correctly. Color, number of wheels, and model. Yeah. Okay, so you see that I have a problem here, right? You don't have a constructor for the truck, and so on. So if you do the same thing for the bus, let's just say yellow bus has maybe 10 wheels and it's a laylaw. Car would be like, let's say, green and has 4 wheels and is a Mustang. Just maybe it's like S3 or something. I don't know the brand for truck, the bus. Okay, so you can see that they don't have constructors because there's none. And so you want to pass this over to the vehicle class. So that means in the truck class, you have to have a constructor here. You can say something like this, public truck, and you can have the string for color, the int for number of wheels, and then you have the string for model. And then you don't have the data here, so you're going to pass it to the parent. Okay, so what you do is you just call the superclass, and you pass to the superclass, which is the parent class, and then model. So now I'm passing over to the constructor for the vehicle to do that for me. Okay, I'm going to copy this and just put in every class over here. So I let my parent class take care of that for me. Same thing for the car. Okay, save that. And now you see that everything's happy. Okay, and if I run it now, you see that they're now completely unique. A red truck with 18 wheels, the Tesla S3, these are similar. And then yellow bus, 10 wheels, laylaw, and then the green car, wheels, Mustang, and so on. So I hope this helps. Again, these are constructors in the truck, bus, and car. You call their constructors, and then you need to, because they don't have those constructors, you have to have the constructor here, and then you pass these data, the same data you received, this class receives, to the parent. Okay, so when you call the parent class, you're not going to say, vehicle is new vehicle. You just call the word super, and that will go to the vehicle class, and then it will use this constructor, the matching constructor, and then sets your data here. So I hope this is helpful, and again, thanks for the request. If there's any questions, please let me know.